Here we are Friday in Maryland, just before everybody starts. It's the weekend of racing before everybody starts on their Christmas break. But Keith, a couple of prices that we had on Sunday, most notably El Toulouse, that was a $34 winner, and a couple of $10.80 winners in Rex and Rocks. And what else did we have written down?
Oh, Alas and Alack was a good price for Hammy. There was a slew of prices on Sunday's racing card, and hopefully you were playing the pick fives. Early pick five, over 3,500.
Yep.
Late pick five, 5,100. And that was with like a 4 to 5 shot Brittany to wrap things up. So I tell you, the prices, they've been steady. And I tell you, kudos, Racing Office, good job. This is one of our better stretches, I think, of quality racing along. I know we don't have any stakes action, but good competitive fields. Quality racing all the way through this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So nice job, everybody. I think they're enjoying something down there in the Racing Office, a little meal. Somebody had brought something in, like maybe a little Christmas treat there. Robin was telling me about that. But, yeah, we had a lot of rain in the area.
A lot.
So we're going to deal with a muddy track.
Oh, definitely. Mm-hmm. We'll see if that dries up a little bit, but I think we're going to stay muddy all day today. Not a lot of wind going on, but hey, we're still in the studio. This is where we're stationed for quite a while. Let's start things off in this maiden 45, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. Keith, we've got a stat right away on your top selection, Mama's Eyes for Jerry Robb and Xavier Perez.
Yeah, right off the bat, key scratch. We got this a little bit later. Grace and Charm is out 8 to 5 on your morning line. For Brittany Russell. We'll wait for another day for her, but let's look at this stat real quick for the 5, Mama's Eyes. Jerry Robb, we haven't seen this filly since Timonium, but comes back. Jerry Robb, 4 for 13, 31%, and 9 for 13 in the money with the 2-year-old maidens making their second start here in Maryland. Look at that ROI. You wouldn't think it'd be that high.
You think
522. I had to take a second look at that, Callie.
Sure.
But this one, I know you might have looked at the breeding. Full to street loot, also kin to a lot of hope. Quality runners out of this Robb barn. No guts, no glory. They just team up, do a phenomenal job. And this one, I think, is going to be ready to go. Off a little slow, a little sluggish at Timonium. I think you'll see more speed. Comes out of a race. Lady Serenity was very quick, ran second. Maserati. They just got away from her. I don't think this field's going to get away from her this afternoon.
No, and I like the fact that you brought that up. Didn't get away quickly, and that was going a half a mile at Timonium. So it just really stretches things out, going from a half mile. Just adding a whole quarter of a race onto there is really going to add things to her. You also go with the number 4. The number 4 is Scratch. Excuse me, I had your original picks.
Okay.
But number 2, My Sister Nancy for John Salzman. Just missed it out last time. Is the 6 furlongs going to be an issue with this one today, Keith?
I don't think so. No, a little flat with some trouble. Going 7/8, 2 races back. Jay Williamson's charge is going to be just fine right here. A little bit more flow comes out with Grace and Charm. I'm thinking they would have liked to seen her stay in here, actually. Caught wide, kept on churning last time out. I think this is going to be just fine. Mosler off track should work as well. She might be the legit closer against this group.
Speaking of a horse that also likes an off-track, and Donna's Courage, who you have underneath for Hugh McMahon, gets Angel Cruz on that outside. Do you think we're going to see that type of performance last time out?
Yeah, I think you'll get something back. Her best chances look like you're going to go ahead and send. She looks to be, to me, the speed. Maybe not of the speed. She's going to have to deal with the one sultry Sally H, but the one's got to come away cleanly in there. So that's the key. I like the way this one ran and debuted. Baltimore Bombs, they don't win hardly at all ever first time out. This horse took money. She ran big, made that move into the race with My Sister Nancy. I think she can move up off of that as well, off of that debut run.
Keith Fusel goes 5-2-1-7 in the first. I go 7-2-5-1. Race number 2 starts the early pick 4. And, of course, as per usual, Keith, you've got a ticket lined up for us. How do you play it?
It's a $30 ticket. This stretch, I almost kind of did it audible. Last week, I should have stuck with an early pick 4 that we gave out. We were right along with it, so hopefully you played along with the selections. You would have had it for like $270 on Saturday. But this is 30. Miss Fussy Pants, a little bit of a price here in race 2 with the 8. Don't Tell Darren, I think is logical, tough to leave out. Race 3, we go too deep again with the 1A, Boss Logic, and the 9, Walk Away Joe. Some key scratches in there as well. Guillaume comes out part of that entry. For Love of Country was going to be part of that flow. Picasso, a scratch. So I go 2 deep there. 3 deep in race number 4 with the 1, 2, 3. Only left with 4 in there, right, Cal? With the 5, 6, and 7 out. See if Stay Out, who hasn't had the best of luck on an off track, can just control things up front. and wrap it up. 2, 6, 7, 9, 10. You've got maiden claimers 12-5 down to 10 to wrap up this early pick 4. It's a little bit of a scramble. I think Awesome Dynamo is going to take a lot of play on the turn back in distance. I'm going to use a couple other ones in there. Hopefully, boost it if we're alive. Get a better shot at a price.
I like that you're sticking with the early pick 4 because we did. I shot you.
You texted me.
I texted you. I said, "Watch! If you would have made an early pick 4, you would have gotten it, and you would have." Which this starts in the second race in this claiming 20,000, going 6 furlongs on the dirt for the 2-year-old girls. Keith, you land on the number 2, Miss Fussy Pants, as you mentioned earlier. Hammy Smith, J. Ron Barbosa, going to need to pick up that speed again like we saw 3 back.
You got it. I think there might be enough flow in here, Kyle. You got Fancy Gracie quick to the outside. Don't Tell Darren will be fairly close. Music Man, Sandy, the 4, kind of got to go. So Alas and Alack did it on a little bit of a drop down, similar kind of run. Sat there, made that progression up the inside. Maybe Miss Fussy Pants wants to kind of go outside a little bit. She was inside, had to ease back a little bit. I watched that run, and they got outside just too late last time. I think the flow's just going to be right. She has to improve a little bit, can rally into it with Barbosa. I like that. Hammy went here with Jaron. They've got a good combination together, positive ROI. See if she can rally into it.
Absolutely. I think, and that's where I kind of stuck. I see her on this inside, and I just, especially with that last effort out, I'm just going to sit back, and I'm just going to sit back and do a wait and see approach on her. But I like how you have her at 6-1. That's a decent enough go. How about the number 8 on the outside? Don't Tell Darren, another Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez. This filly, everything finally started to click for this filly now.
Yeah, after a really encouraging debut try back in July. Some issues in some races, a little flat, and then she kind of put it back together. The blinkers went on last time, some focus, and I envision a similar trip. Sit outside of Fancy Gracie and Music Man Sandy and see if she can sustain. She kept on going at the 5.5. Looked like she was going to stretch out, widen from there. So the 6 furlongs, that extra 16th of a mile, should not be an issue for her. That mare was good, tough mare. She was Boham the Lobby ran around her 5 for 9 in the money on an off track with a couple of wins. 2-8-5-1. Never done, even though she hasn't really crossed the wire first. I'll throw her into the mix. You got her second. I'll let you talk about her real quick.
Well, the thing is that just especially at this level, you want to see, and the problem isn't this. It's a great problem to have in this race. You have a lot of them who are just all of a sudden coming up and showing up in these first, 1 back, 2 back, and this filly is no exception to this rule. So we're cutting down to the 20 from breaking the maiden, breaking the maiden. I always tongue twist that one at the 30. But this one, I really love seeing the duel. It was just kind of a dogfight throughout almost the entire race, and I think that, especially in these types of fields, that's what I look for when I'm looking for horses in this first time against. When you look at a horse for a first time against winners, you want to see how gritty they are, and this, especially in her case, it sets up really, really well for the Capuano filly. So that's why I have her. That's why I've never done right underneath. But Music Man Andy is another one who's a bit like that. Of course, you're getting Claudia Gonzalez, who's stepping it up first after claim 31%. I'm just going ahead and trying to ride that bandwagon a little bit, especially a bit of a price at 4-1. Maybe not the horse to beat in this race, but maybe seeing if we can get a little value in that race.
Yeah, this you can see I've got a 7-2 favorite. You have to me in this field, you got to give me 3-1 or more, no doubt. I mean, I think it's that competitive. Music Man Sandy, you're right. Claimed off the big drop. That worries me a little bit sometimes. Brittany has a lot of horses, so if they don't quite fit, that barn the way it is kind of right now, they're going to go ahead and drop, get the wins, and move on. But never done. Going back to this 5 horse, it is second time Dale. I think that's key. Second time blinkers makes a run into it.
Race number 3 is a starter optional, claiming 30,000, going the 1-turn mile on the dirt here at Laurel Park for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you and Tim Tulloch both have Boss Logic on top for Jamie Ness. I have this one underneath. Jaime Rodriguez gets the call, coming off of a nice win on the off going over here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, a couple of the speeds come out of here. Picasso should have been forward, even Guillaume for La Love of Country, so 3 of them. So that leaves Boss Logic off of that 7/8 return try where he got that set up and he made the grinding run and was able to get it. Leaves him super sharp here. Comes back in, 13 days or so. This is a good move, though, for Ness. A lot of moves are good for Ness. 34% dirt routes. Winner last out, coming back. This is strong here. So I think Boss Logic with these horses coming out, he's been capable up towards the front. He's going to be put into the race today, no doubt.
Well, on top of that, this one's breaking. It's the 1A, but this horse is breaking out of the 8 post, so gets a lot of leeway being near that outside positioning as well. We both go with the number 9. Speaking of outside positioning, we're going both with the number 9. Underneath, Walkaway Joe, Dale Capuano, Angel Cruz. Just a consistent dude right here that is going to be giving you a consistent performance. We're cutting back to the 1-turn mile for this guy. We should go 3 back. That's what we saw, and that was my key race for this guy, Keith.
Yeah, kind of put into it a little slower flow last. Inside, there was a slight outside tinge on the 24th, kind of going back and look at the charts, and then worked its trip outside and kept churning and came back for second. This guy's a trier, no doubt about it. He can handle an off track. He likes the 1-turn mile. I think he drifts in and kind of steadily makes that grinding run into it.
Sure, definitely. We both have the number 3 as well. I'm not going to let you put your papers away just yet with Golden Gully for Gary Cap, J-Ron Barbosa. This one, I'm curious to see how this one is going to handle this 1 turn here with a little bit of this extension, because it just got it on the last little bit of it back on the 26th of November.
Well, we say it here time and time again. Barbosa puts horses in a position to win. He puts them in there early. And this horse, I tell you, I didn't see that coming where he was just going to sustain. He started that ride early around the 3/8 pole last time. It just kept grinding. Nostalgic Run was sitting motionless top of the stretch, but got run down. He's sharp right now. Popped up, improved 8 points on the buyer figures. Yeah, this is a little bit more proven group, a little bit more saltier group than he faced last time out, but he's going the right direction. He has positional speed against this group and the right rider to help you out.
Absolutely. Race number 4 starts the Rainbow Pick 6. I've got a ticket lined up for you guys, and I'll just quickly go over how we're going to play it. I just go 1-2, obvious go-fors in this race. Race number 6. Still, we had a couple of scratches in that race still, but I still thought that there was plenty to offer. I felt like that. I mean, my ticket overall stayed together, or my picks stayed together, so I just added a couple in with that. Race number 7 is my single on the number 7. That's going to be Spicy Margarita. I feel like it's 3-1. That's fine. That doesn't really worry me at all, but Claudio Gonzalez, you should just have him fitting this horse in the right spot, and I like the changeover to Xavier Perez. And then, of course, in the nightcap, you usually go for a single in the last one, but this one, in this Claiming 25, Never Win 3, a lot of smart entries on the trainer's part in this race, and this one, and especially the 1-turn mile, makes it intriguing for a $48 ticket. So it makes sense. You go with a $30 ticket in your early pick 4, so you can't get after me so much for my $48 ticket in this Rainbow Pick 6. Of course, 6 furlongs on the dirt for the starter optional, Claiming 12-5. Scratch the 5, 6, and 7 Proper Tire, Devilish Affair, and Captivating Gal, which leaves us both with the number 1 on top. Stay Out, Dale Capuano, Angel Cruz. That really didn't change too much for me in this race despite the scratches.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Bahama Pearl is the real X factor that could really ruin the day maybe for Stay Out. Stay Out 0 for 2 and just has not run well on and off track. Very good effort last time. Got out to the better part of the track, upper stretch, and just kept on going. Bahama Pearl has flashed a little speed. I think the one's a little quicker. She's going to have to be on her game. Maybe Stay Out can rate a little bit and make a move. But she was impressive last time out. This is a short field, right? But Funny Bet, the 2 comes in here for Norman Cash is the one Norman Cash horse that stays in. We have a video of that last race, right?
We do. If we could bring that video up, that would be great.
It might be the 2-back race.
Yes, it is.
Yes, my bad. And this was pretty good. Off of a break from May to late September. A little bit sketchy on that bigger drop, but is wide, makes that kind of run steadily outside, about 5-6 wide here past the 8th pole. Gets denied late. Next out winner, though. 3rd place finisher came back to run a 63. That's the kind of figure that you're going to have to maybe get to win this, maybe high 50s, low 60s.
Right.
Funny Bet, she needs to still improve a little bit. I think she's going to need some help, too. She's going to need the 1 and the 4 to kind of tangle, I believe. But, again, they seek out Barbosa. That's a plus. I think she's got your legitimate kick in here. And also view work. So I think this is close. I don't think there's a slam dunk in the 4th. But Stay Out. I'm a little worried about that off-track record, no doubt.
Sure, especially if you go two back at that Charlestown effort, gets a similar type of position, going for the speed on the inside rail, went for the speed and just wasn't able to handle it. So it's curious to know if that was a Charlestown thing or if that was an an off-track sort of situation. Because then you go back to Delaware back in June on a track with moisture in it and just didn't get away. And that's the game that this filly needs to play. So interesting, small but interesting field that we have here for the start of the Rainbow Pick 6. We both go 1, 2, 3, 4 in that. Race number 5 is a maiden claiming 12-5, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. No scratches in here, so we both agree and we both land. Man, I thought I was going to be sneaky with a little bit of this value play at 10-1. Call Me Maestro for Damon Deal DeVico gets William Humphrey today, coming back off of a 495-day layoff.
Wow, long layoff. But,
yes.
Smaller sample though. Damon's been good with this move, 2 for 9 and 4 for 9 with maidens. Offer over 180-day layoff over the last few years with an ROI of over $4. Second-time starters, he's been good throughout his career. He's like right around 30% with an ROI over $3, if I'm not mistaken.
I have a stat.
Go ahead.
I have a recent stat for you. 7 for 13 as of lately, second-time starters. So that's 54% in the winner's circle lately off of a shorter sample, 13 starters, but 7 wins, 1 second, 1/3 to add to that. So caught my attention right away.
Well, he's the fresh horse. He's the new face in some horses that have been disappointing as favorites. Awesome Dynamo beaten favorites its last couple tries. I'm just trying to mix things up a little bit. There's some dirt there. Sure. McLean's Music topside, absolutely off track. So you got a horse that a little issue in debut on the turf, way back, retooled a newer horse. Why not with a high percentage trainer? Try to get a little bit of value. We'll probably come down off of that 10-1. Right. Awesome Dynamo. We saw Jean Brosino and Corrales team up with El Tulu for the big price. I think you're going to see a similar ride as you saw that long shot get. This is going to be a much shorter price. On the engine early, sent into the race, try to withstand pressure, and be the survivor of the speed. So 6-2, 2-6 for me. I think the 9 is improving. That was a good effort last time. It's had plenty of tries, but we'll be forward. If that outside part of the track plays better, that enhances the chances of the 9 get them digits.
First time on a wet dirt for this one as well, so it should be super curious and interesting. Dialed in just fine on a wet dirt, 16% with that. Yeah. You also include the number 7, but 6-2. 9-7, did you want to talk about the 7?
Yeah, the 7 real quick. I thought, third off of a break. Marriott's been okay for her over the years. I know the barn's been a little chilly, but hey, this horse held pretty well despite breaking slow, rushing early, chasing. It just didn't fade. So better post, I think, here, a chance to relax, and if it gets a little bit of a contested pace, has a chance to rally and sustain a little bit better here at some value.
We're going to be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial and be back to talk about the rest of this interesting Friday card that we've got going on here in Maryland.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
These have been some fun races to talk about so far, but we're just kind of getting into it now. Race number 6 is this nice allowance that we have going a mile and 16th here on the dirt. Big scratches in the 1A Celtic Treasure, Pharaoh's Triumph, and Late Night Larry, the number 10. So you've got some faith in the number 8, Tate, who just won last time out after just a brutal campaign for some of these bettors of this horse constantly just teasing us, showing up there, and you're just kind of you're getting suckered in a little bit, Keith.
I am. Like a big old lollipop on this big fat head of mine. That's it. So hey, Tate, your key back horses. I was talking to my man Joe Gass on the ride down. I said, a little bit of value here maybe on Tate. Big effort last time. My key is he ran a second faster than a bunch of these horses at the same distance on the same day.
Okay.
He goes back. He's competitive kind of in this $25,000 range. Yeah, he's going up, moving up a little bit here to the allowance ranks. But it's a big sweeping move. Jose Magana had a winner the other day. Maybe he's kind of figured it all out. The light bulb's gone on, and he can kind of, make that next step. He went into a slower pace and really finished up strong. He might need a little bit of help, and he ran on the better part of the racetrack, as did Most Perfect, and Giordani. We talked about the 24. But I just think he holds value. I mean, he's not far off of these horses when you look at a class name. His go-back races, he's run against Nostalgic Run, contended out. These horses work for me. Maybe he's just a new Tate. We'll see.
Maybe
a winning Tate.
And here's the thing. That is an angle that I will usually go with. And once they get that win, once they get that confidence, he did drop, but confidence is confidence. So if he can take that into this race, absolutely 8-1. Why not? And this horse is consistent on a wet dirt. He's 0 for 4, but 2 wins in 2 seconds out of 4 tries on a wet dirt. So you have to give him some consideration. And I think I have him on my ticket in this race, so I don't have him in my picks, but I have him on my ticket, so I can totally see that. You have the number 6 Most Perfect, Mike Trombetta, J-Ron Barbosa coming off of a win in that Claiming 40. Just a solid choice, a solid horse to go with in this race.
Yeah, ran a little quicker than Giordani in the same day, not as fast as Tate, but the blinkers went on. This is a horse that we liked. Took a lot more play than I thought, bet down 2-1, but overcame some trouble, bobbled at the break, and man, for Cruz, just kept on grinding and grinding and grinding. We've got Barbosa today. That second place finisher baton came back to win the other day at Parks with a good fig and a good effort. So gritty try for Most Perfect. Looking at the flow, he's going to be into it seems to me. Nostalgic Run obviously going to probably go. Scratch of Late Night Larry helps the 5's chances.
Right.
Most Perfect should be within a couple lengths by the far turn, ready to strike.
We're going to get a consistent performance out of Most Perfect, but we also will probably get a consistent performance from a Jamie Ness runner. No surprise in Giordani. We have a video spotlight on that one with Jamie Rodriguez in the saddle today.
How about this effort? Not quite. You saw him kind of peeking to the other side. Just a little unfortunate. It's such a tough job for everybody involved there, as a rider. And he kind of made his own issues right there.
He did.
That's what happened. He made his own issues. Did he pay for it? Not really, because he wins the race. He's able to recover. I mean, he spotted the field multiple lengths out of there, was well back around that first turn. We pick it up like leaving the 3/8. And he's just, as we talked about, on the better part of the racetrack. But I didn't see him. Giordani is a horse that, again, has kind of teased you a little bit, made some moves, flattened a little bit in the past. Not first-time Ness. I'm going to spot you 5 or 6 early, and I'm just going to keep on charging, and gets in rhythm. And when he gets set down, he responds. He's going to dig in to win it. Rusty G550 was game, but he was on the better part of the track and had the best of it. But, man, what an effort here.
Here's the thing, Keith, is that we see this horse have some trouble at the break, get behind this field. You go back to his other win, which is going to the lead, but then you go back to that win at Pimlico. Similar situation, except this horse didn't have gait issues per se, but was way off of the field. So this horse is kind of an all-in, all-out, whether it's his style. So then you add to that fact that you have Jamie Ness second after the claim, and that certainly doesn't hurt things.
No, not at all. Not at all. That was we were kind of like, we couldn't believe that performance after the break for him to do it. So and that's runners have been steadily there. So it's tough to leave him out. But Tate will be a price play for me in the 6th.
And then I just go with Nostalgic Run just due to the fact that the scratch of the 10 helps out. And then you also go with Magic Mule, who's always going to be grinding, always going to be a part of that, a consistent runner who loves his job here. The race number 7 is a starter optional 30,000, 5.5 here on the dirt for the girls 3 years old and up. You land on the number 2, who I have underneath, Hydra, for Jeffrey Engelhardt. Angel Cruz. This one is a bit of an all or nothing. I have my opinion about the horse, but you'll take it away on your top selection.
Yeah,
Keith.
That's it. I mean, I was looking to beat her. She's going to be a shorter price. I struggled a little bit with this race, making a lot too. But coming in for a barn that's had decent success coming to Maryland, but it's the wet track. That was the key to get Hydra over the top. She's had plenty of experience over the Laurel surface. Beat a horse a couple races back at Finger Lakes. You're thinking, well, we're going to put a little bit of a asterisk next to that. Now, that was a state. That horse has won 2 state-bred stakes, within the last several months. So I think that was an okay horse that she beat that day. There's some speed. Spicy Margarita, your top selection is going to go. Bocce's going to go. You've got Madeira, who's quick. I think Hydra, if she's right, she moves into position around the turn and stalks and pounces.
Absolutely. This race is a little bit of a head, just a tick of a head scratcher, but the number 8, who, like we talked about, you have underneath behind the couch, John Salzman, William Humphrey. This one, is one of the only ones that doesn't have such an up and down form in this field.
Steady.
Just steady, and it just really helps that 2 back. She did win on and off going.
Yeah, Callie, and I think back to 5.5, 7/8, just a little bit of a fizzle with the run last time. That position got a good trip 2 races back in that sloppy track, worked outside, came with the charge. I think she's going to like what she sees in front of her, what's going to develop. If Hydra's off a little bit, yes, I think she gets the best of her.
I like that approach to that. Race number 7, I go 7-2-8-1. Keith Fusel goes 2-8. 4-5, and race number 8 is an allowance here for the fillies and mares 3 years old and up. 7 furlongs makes things interesting here in this. Let's go ahead right away to that video spotlight on Keith's top selection. Maya Flicker for Anthony Ferrier gets Javian Toledo today.
Yeah, it's the Parks race, 2 races back. This starter off a little bit slow from that inside post and able to kind of get position, though. Look, she's got that acceleration quickly in that opening 16th of a mile to get her position, and then she's going to kind of rate back. So a couple different moves from Maya Flicker from that inside post, and is able to work outside here at the quarter pole and gets it done. Rallies to command, gets the job done. Goes up to Charlestown. After that, Callie, it just gets beat. Big buyer for the winner. I know sometimes those numbers can be a little high, but that horse is in deadly form. Shoshani Moon. She's 6 lengths clear of Escape Fun, who is a seasoned vet, a 6-time winner this year. She draws this outside post. She's improved in the barn dramatically, I think, in this Ferrier barn, and she's just going to sit that outside stalking trip. And I like her at the 7/8. I think it's a good distance for her. And that's Toledo, I should say, teaming up to grind it out.
I like this filly, but I opt for one that I have I'm just a big, it's a little bit of a sentiment, but I'm taking the approach that you did with Tate earlier today and who knows what for Mike Trombetto, Louis Garcia. This filly's always been knocking at the door, so we get back, we're still at the 7 furlong distance and things just clicked for her, and I feel like once she gets that confidence, and if you go back to after her when she still gave a really nice go in that allowance from that starter optional, so now we're at the filly who's consistent enough at the allowance level, gets an off track, which we haven't seen her on, but that 7 furlong distance for her really fits who knows what today.
Yeah, I didn't see that race right out of the blue. 14, almost 15 to 1 that day, up on the engine. As I like to say in the charts, improved speed and racing ability. That's what she showed last time out. Now she catches an off track, first time on an off track. What will she do? Trombetta with 2 runners. The Combat Queen, Figs a little bit better. She was well clear of who knows what a couple races back. So I think the 3's a little bit better horse. She won with something a little bit left last time, but she's got that tough move of 5.5, 2 5.5s back out to 7.
Right.
From that post to get position, is she going to be able to kind of sustain and hold on? I think she's going to have to work a little bit, this 3-horse Combat Queen, but she's in very good form. I just like the positioning of Maya Flicker outside to grind it. I think the 5's a sneaky horse.
Yep.
Blueberry Indigo for Ben Perkins. Best efforts have been on a track with moisture. She runs against the right kind. That's the key. Wet track edge maybe moves her way up. She's fresh, and I would not be surprised for Rodriguez to get aggressive with her, see if he can put her in the race early and she stays the trip.
I like that pickup, especially since she won on an off track, going a 1-turn mile here at Laurel Park, so we just cut that a little bit. She won by 22 lengths when she did that, so there we go. You also have the number 2 underneath, but race number 9 is our nightcap of this Friday racing here. In this claiming 25, never win 3 going, the 1-turn mile here at Laurel. We both have this scratches. Let's talk about the scratches in Majestic Frontier, Lord Mayo, and Ashab. Those are all the outside horses, so you're left with a 5-horse field, which both leaves us both on Burgee. Anthony Ferrier, again, another Anthony Ferrier runner for Toledo. Keen back on that race, 2 back at Laurel Park going the 1-turn mile here.
Looks like Jethro here needs a late double, for Anthony Ferrier. Come on, Tony, let's get it done. But Burgee, first off, ran credibly. A little bit of a hang late. I watched that again. I had that comment shuffled 3/8. I wanted to just kind of refresh the memory. Yeah, was tucked, really keen, well in hand behind the leader, Lord Mio, down the backside. And Lord Mio started to falter and just backed right into Burgee. Burgee was able to shift out, spotted probably 3 or 4 lengths, made a quick move and just flattened late. 1-turn mile with all these scratches. Wouldn't be surprised to see Burgee, as keen as he was last time, Cal, to go to the front here and try to control things.
If you go back to that win back in the 25th of June, that's where that type of situation fits. Keyed up, get this horse in a forward type position, and then depending on how things feel out, if you get really confident, just go and run away with it, win by 4 lengths, just like he did with Victor in that win breaking the maiden. So let's talk about some others in this race. So the number 2, the other Anthony Ferry Union Fleet with gets Angel Cruz today, stretches out, but we've seen this horse win earlier.
Yeah, versatile. He's been able to run short, run long. You're thinking, well, maybe he's just a one-run sprinter type. No, little sluggish out of the gate. He's going to have to break a little bit better this afternoon at this distance with type of race, because he's not going to get that kind of fast pace. Horses chasing. He benefited here. Really kind of leveled off when switching out in a clear about 6 wide upper stretch. Closes up like 4 the last 1/8 of a mile. My last mission, way too good. But a horse, again, going second off the claim, has the ability to kind of just grind into it. Stay closer today with a better break. And here's an encompassing kind of stat for Ferry. Both of them second off the claim. He's 26% with these routers here in Maryland the last few years, with second off the claim. So that works. Close field. I mean, again, not much separating. I know it's 4, maybe 5 horse. Blame it on fun. I think is still in the 5.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, but those inside 4. I mean, you might be throwing a blanket over them at the wire.
We have 2 other fields that are like this, scratched down to 4 horses, 5 horses. The other one also is very competitive, so a lot to offer, even though we're on a not so rainy day, but scratches today galore here at Laurel, but we still have a lot of fun to offer. Let's talk about a couple things up in the lightning round. Well, today is a little bit of a celebration. The Maryland Horse Library opens today, located at 321 Main Street in the heart of historic Reisterstown. Maryland Horse Library and Education Center will serve as a hub for learning and collaboration while honoring the long history of horses in Maryland. There's a big, extensive reference library, meeting space, a gallery. Cricket Goodall mentioned our plan for the MHLEC is to serve as a resource to the community and those folks interested in learning more about horses, whether researching book, taking lessons, volunteering, but there's a lot to offer, especially as far as the history of Maryland and such a historic and diverse horse community, with more horses per square mile than any other state at all. So be sure to head on over to Reisterstown and check out today for its grand opening today.
That's close by to me. I mean,
that's
right.
Check it out.
I can walk to that, so that's no problem. I can go educate myself and try to figure out how to pick a few winners. That's kind of what I need to do. Yeah. Do they have that book?
I'm sure they do. And if not, they'll probably order it just for you, Keith.
All right.
Let's check on the leaderboard on how things are going up so far in this winter meet. Of course, Brittany Russell just keeping things going super strong, 10 ahead of course, Damon DeVico. But after that, it's a nice, tight little race for second with, of course, Damon, Dale, Jerry, and Mike. This is the same type of race that we've had for at the end of our summer meet, getting into our fall meet.
Yeah, I tell you, it's 10 in front. And she's got the numbers,
that was
too, right
sneaky,
now. We
too.
always talked about all of a sudden, like she's like playing whack-a-mole with the guys below her right now, right? Bang, 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 just trying to keep them away. So she's opened up a daylight lead. There's no doubt about it. It might be tough to overcome.
And just the jocks right behind that, of course, J-Ron Barbosa in the lead. Not quite a 10-race lead, but getting pretty close there, right in front of Angel Cruz.
Yeah. He's, again, as long as things stay fine, he's going to be tough to deny getting on a lot of live mounts.
Keith Fustel, let's talk about your best bet and your value play of today.
Right.
Let's start off with your best bet, I believe, in race number 8.
Yeah, my flick. They're at 5-2 morning line. I think we can get around that. It's a competitive group. I wouldn't take anything less than 2. 9-5 would really be stretching it, but I just like the form that she's in. Fair's done a good job. She's improved. 7-8. She's run against the right kind. We talked about Escape Fun. I think she sits that kind of stalking trip.
Right, absolutely. And then your value play, of course, is number 8, Tate, in race number 6. That's such a competitive race, and to take a stab on that, I like that move with Tate, hopefully being able to get a little bit of confidence out of that last win.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if he's kind of, like I say, the light bulb moment, knowing how to win now. And he won by daylight. He didn't make that move and hang. Right. He went right on by and kept on going. He fits with this kind. Let's see if Jose Magana, new barn, if he can hold that form.
Running quickly back off of that one should help Tate for things. But let's check in with Dave Rodman for some possible more changes and scratches.
All right, good luck.